Hello everybody! Today I wanted to make a video addressing some myths that I've heard, or rumours that I've heard about Switzerland. Whether it be about the people of Switzerland or about the country itself. Before I get into that though, hello, my name is Janice. I make videos about living in Switzerland, learning languages, more specifically Korean, and more recently I've added my eating disorder recovery to the list of topics that I will be discussing on this channel. If any or all of that sounds interesting to you, have a look around and you might find something that you enjoy. And if you do, why not stick around? It is free. Get it? Why not, Janice? Why not subscribe? Yeah. I still need to find a better way to not make that as gross. With that out of the way, let's talk about some myths that I've heard about Switzerland. Number one myth that I keep hearing everywhere from everyone is that Swiss people are all rich. If you take two seconds to think about that, it logically doesn't make sense that everybody in Switzerland is going to be able to be rich. There are going to be people who have millions, and are there billionaires in Switzerland? Probably. There's definitely some very rich people in Switzerland. And then there's also middle class, lower class, and we also have homeless people. Granted, you're probably not going to be seeing super many homeless people because we do have shelters and we tend to take care of them, but there will be people who will be sitting on the side of the road with a little container for you to give you change. You don't have to give change, but it's always a kind gesture. We once painted Easter eggs in school and I gave my colored egg to a homeless person because I don't like eggs and they enjoyed it. But you might be thinking, but Janice, in Switzerland, people who do very minimum jobs will still get paid a lot of money, more money than in my country. That might be true. However, just because we get a big paycheck doesn't mean that everything else is inexpensive. Rent in Switzerland is pretty damn expensive. For example, the closer you get to Zurich, the more expensive shit is gonna be. I saw an advertisement for a one-bedroom apartment, 24 square meters, for $1,200. The further away you go from the main city center, the cheaper it's gonna be, which is why I know pretty much only people who will live half an hour or so away from, you know, like the center of Zurich. Just because we get a big paycheck doesn't mean we don't have to also, you know, save money for a vacation. That doesn't mean we can just go out to eat every single day. Granted, there are people who do that, but I don't know how they do it, honestly. Everything in Switzerland is very expensive. We earn a lot, but everything around us is also very expensive. Kind of balances out. Another myth that I've heard is that it's super cold here all year round. And this one is simply not true. When I was a kid, in August, the highest the temperature would go was probably about 28 degrees. Since that though, we are reaching about 36 degrees, sometimes 38. And in Switzerland, we are not used to that. That means if the temperatures get really, really warm in summer, we have no way to cool down. No apartment that I know of has built-in air conditioning. Don't open your windows in the morning where the air is still a little bit fresh, then you're pretty much just gonna boil yourself to death. Plus the thing is, if you open windows, then you get mosquitoes, and it's like, great. I can't win, can I? No, you can't. I've never seen the thermometer reach 40 degrees Celsius in Switzerland. But the thing is, we're already suffering if it gets warmer than 28 degrees because we don't have air conditioning. A lot of offices and office spaces don't have air conditioning because it's expensive as hell. If you work in an office where there's air conditioning, you can consider yourself really, really lucky. Public transportation occasionally also doesn't have air conditioning. The trams in Zurich, you're gonna be very lucky if you find one with air conditioning. If you have to go on a train ride in Switzerland in the height of summer, you can be really lucky if your train carriage has air conditioning. Sometimes it's weird where there's one with air conditioning and then the next one doesn't, and then this one does and then that one doesn't. You can't see it from the outside whether there's air conditioning or not. In summer, when I have to take a train, I always try to look at the people and see if they're coming out, you know, sweating, because then I'll be sure to avoid that carriage, because in summer that shit gets warm. I think in the past 2 years, I've read so many news articles about elderly people passing out of the train, kids passing out of the train. All that the public transportation system does here is tell you, you should drink more water. Sure, but we're spending loads and loads of money on you. Could you please install some air conditioning? Thanks. Another myth that I hear is that we eat chocolate every single day. My biased ass would say Swiss chocolate is the best. Whilst it is true that most of our snacks are sweet or have something to do with chocolate. Just because we are excelling in chocolate and because our chocolate is, in my biased opinion, the best, doesn't mean that we eat chocolate every single day. You know, it's not like we're just constantly just eating chocolate. If you're coming to Switzerland as a tourist, you will find that a lot of touristy things are geared towards, you know, stereotypical Swiss chocolatey kind of things. You can go into pretty much any supermarket in Switzerland and you will find a big wall of chocolate. When people go to America for the first time, they'll talk about how big the cereal aisle is. I've never been to America. I can't say that it is really big. I feel like that's comparable with Switzerland's amount of like chocolate, because there will be a chocolate aisle. We pretty much have every single type of chocolate and it's all... Is there vegan chocolate? There probably is. Even the store's own chocolate, which is like the cheapest of the bunch or most inexpensive of the bunch, will still be really damn good chocolate. Even if you get like Migros Buche chocolate, it's still gonna be pretty damn good. I feel like I haven't debunked that myth very well, but very proud of our chocolate. But cold-hearted and rude. I've made a video about this already actually, and you'll be able to watch it here, or I always find it irritating when YouTubers don't know which way that the little information floppity thing is gonna pop out. Now that I think about it, I have no idea. I'll link you the video that I've made regarding this topic, whether it be over here, or you will also be finding it in the description. And you can see my opinion on people who think that Swiss people are rude. As a Swiss person, when I go traveling and I meet somebody who has never met me before and I introduce myself and they ask me where I'm from and I say, I'm from Switzerland, they'll ask me, oh cool, so do you speak Swedish? A lot of people tend to think that Switzerland is Sweden. If we look on a map, this here is Switzerland and this here is Sweden. They're not exactly close together. I don't think I know anything in Swedish. I know farfar is father's father, so grandpa, and mormor is mother. I know that cykelnyckel is bicycle key. Cykelnyckel. 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 More. Farfar. But you write it with an R, but it sounds like an L. Farfar. How do you say my name is? Mitt namn är Janice. Jag bor i Schweiz. Drink mycket vatten. Drick mycket vatten. That wasn't that bad. And that was just me guessing. Drick mycket vatten. The language that you're trying to look for is, oh, so you speak Swiss. I get it. Switzerland, and then Swedish comes to mind. If you know a little bit more about Switzerland, you might know that Switzerland has 4 official languages. Those being German, Italian, French, and Romansh, which is a language that they pretty much only speak in the Alps. There's not a lot of people who still speak that language. But because of those 4 languages, a lot of people tend to think that Swiss people just automatically can speak all of those languages, or at least more than 2. They pretty much just believe that Swiss people are all bilingual or trilingual. You might be finding that a lot of people do speak multiple languages here, but most of the time it's just gonna be the language that they've grown up with and English. I feel like most of the people in Switzerland are more likely to speak English as a second language than another language that is spoken also in Switzerland. You do have to, in secondary school, have to learn a second language that is spoken in Switzerland. If you live in the German part of Switzerland, you will have to learn French. If you live in the French part of Switzerland, you will have to learn German, and depending on how close you live to the Italian border of Switzerland, you might have to learn Italian. I don't actually know what language the Italians have to learn. I think it might be German, but I'm not sure about that. Don't hold me to that. Another myth that I've heard is that Swiss cheese is the best. My biased ass would say that is absolutely true. I've not found a cheese that is better than Swiss cheese. I don't know what it is. I feel like other cheese, it just doesn't quite cut it. As a rule of thumb, European cheese overall is the best cheese. I don't like the cheese in Asia. Sorry, Korea. I know that you have a really big like crave with cheese, but your cheese sucks. I'm so sorry, but like dak galbi with cheese on top, and I'm like, skip the cheese, man. Just get me to the good stuff. The cheese in Asia just tastes like nothing. It doesn't have a flavor. You're just chewing and chewing, and it It doesn't taste of anything. I feel like I'm just chewing warm plastic. And it's so, just why? But Swiss cheese is the best cheese. That's my biased opinion. The best cheese out there is Gruyere. We do have Swiss cheese that's like absolutely disgusting, which is Emmentaler. I don't care if you like love this cheese. I think it tastes like a wet washcloth. It's not for me. One of the myths that I've also heard is that people will go skiing every single weekend. There might be Swiss people that do go skiing every single weekend. I myself do not. I don't actually know how to ski. I've never learned how to ski. Most likely, I'm gonna fall out of the skiing lift before we even reach the top, which will be frustrating because that shit costs money. I'll go sledding. I'll go sledding and you can go skiing and then we can meet in the little après-ski, little skiing hut. These are pretty much all of the myths that I found online that I felt like I can debunk or, you know, yes, that is actually true. I mean, these are just my opinions. If you're from Switzerland or you've lived in Switzerland for a while and you have another opinion, let me know. If you have found any myths about Switzerland or heard anything that you were kind of like, I wonder if that's true, let me know in the comments. I might make a part 2 or I might just answer them in the comments. But for now, this is the end of the video. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, you can stick around till when I make a new one. I hope you drink lots of water, get lots of sleep. And this is the end. Bye! Oh, my leg fell asleep, my leg fell asleep, my leg fell asleep. Owie.